I think it's also important to realise that you may have a very interesting area that you want to pursue. It's so interesting it may possibly be unique, but what are you going to use as your literature base to help you establish that research question within a broader theoretical framework?
I think this is probably one of the most difficult things that students struggle with. And for me, I think the problem with developing a good research question is recognizing that the research question is not the first stage of the dissertation process. The first stage of the dissertation process is identifying a topic that you're interested in and developing questions around that topic. A good research question is likely not to appear until you have already started doing some of the research, predominantly all of the literature review. So you will have already read around the topic, you will have identified questions that you have about what you're reading and you don't seem to be able to find the answer for. And then that's where your question will come and develop. But I think that the difficulty is that a good research question doesn't happen until you're already well into the dissertation. And I think what makes a good research question is something that's very specific, something that's very focused, something that's very topical in relation to it's going to be of interest not only to you but to other people.
If a student is struggling, then often the first solution to their struggle is to suggest that they look at previous coursework that they've done. But that is not always a line I would take, because I think one of the things a dissertation is looking for is an ability to think independently. So in a sense, often I'll try and encourage them to think beyond what they've already done, to avoid them trying to reproduce a piece of work from an earlier assessment. Obviously the general topic areas are ones that they should be encouraged to look at, but they should be used as a launching pad really to get them to think about something that they haven't done before, something related to what they've done, but a kind of different topic, different questions, different problems.
There are two basic types of questions that come to me when a student first has been thinking about their project. And they come under the category inordinately large and terribly small. Often students come charged with excitement again about a project, about an idea, but the idea is such that it's really not going to be manageable in the 9 months or so they have to do it. On the other extreme is the student that asks a very simple question, which as such would take a week or 2 weeks to do. So I say to the students, look at the question and look at the levels you have within it. What is the meaning of an affirmative answer to that question or a negative answer to that question? And how many options do you have? If you find yourself having an inordinate number of subordinate questions after you've asked your research questions, it's probably going to be too large. On the other extreme, if you ask your research question and the answer can be yes, no, it's far too small. On the whole, if you have 5 follow-up questions or fewer, somewhere between 3 and 5 follow-up questions, you've probably got the scope of an undergraduate research dissertation.
So for heaven's sake, do try and find something that interests you. But being interesting is not enough. I had one student who was really keen to do a dissertation on Red Dwarf, the TV series. That was it. So I said, well, okay, what do you want to do about it? What's your question about it? Well, I don't know, I just like Red Dwarf. I'm going to do a dissertation on Red Dwarf. Well, sorry, reader, I have to tell you, he failed.